Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you 10 plus subclass mods that will be coming to console in Baldur's Gate 3. So, just a little clarification, these are not currently on console. There's a bit of confusion on my previous video and some people got really upset, but I've handpicked 10 plus classes here that potentially will come to console, and they've been submitted for console approval. Now, there's no red flags from any of these that I've seen, so I just wanted to showcase some of these incredible mods because there's a lot of cool things coming. Now, we just got the Oath of Conquest Paladin, which I had to delete my previous video that I did on this topic because that was the first class that I had on this list. Now, this mod also made by Havsglim, the Circle of Stars Druid, is a really cool class. I'll get in a little bit more in detail after showing these off, but this is the first one here. Then we have the Divine Soul Sorcerer, which combines some of the aspects of the Cleric with the Sorcerer. It's a really cool one. We have the Hexblade Warlock, which is a highly requested Warlock subclass, giving us some cool effects, which I'll also get into in a moment. And we also have the Marauder Rogue. There's a few other Rogue subclasses. Actually, the Rogue and the Bard have the most of them. So this one in particular is pretty fun. We also got the Swashbuckler Rogue, which is the highest requested Rogue subclass. Very likely to come to console as well. The College of Dance Bard. What's cool about this one is it's kind of blending the monk and the bard together. It's a really fun one. Then we also got the College of Spirits Bard, which gives you different songs that you can perform that give you different abilities, and they're randomized, which I think is pretty interesting. And we also got the College of Glamour Bard, and this one's about buffing your team up. We also have the Blade Singer Wizard, which a lot of people have been requesting. We do have a Spellblade Wizard, but I think the Blade Singer is a little bit more fun. We also have the Death Domain Cleric and the Twilight Domain Cleric, which I did a build guide on this yesterday, so you can check out my channel if you want to see an in-depth guide on this. I also think things like the Forge Domain Cleric will come eventually, but I did want to cover in this video because these are the ones that I've seen with potential to come to console. So just going over some of the classes here, we'll first start off with the Circle of Stars. So with the Circle of Stars, the biggest benefit is the ability to turn into the starry form here, so you can use expend a usage of your wild shape to go into your starry form. Rather than turning into a beast, you can choose between 3 different constellations to glimmer on your body. So that is cool. I'll go over these. There's the arrow, the chalice, and the dragon form, and these give different effects, which I'll get into in a moment here. We also have the Heavenly Ceremony Conjure Star Map. So with this, you get a Guidance Cantrip and Guiding Bolt that uses special charges to be able to cast. So with this, we do get all the normal spells that you get from the Druid. Now, a little disclaimer, if you have the mod that gives you up to level 20, you may lose out on the wild shape forms, but we're going to want to cast more with this class, so you may not actually use your wild shape charges for anything other than just using your astral form. So I'll show you off that in a second here. Also, highly recommend getting Mistress spells. That mod adds a lot of different abilities to this. This class does get its wild shape, oddly enough, but we also get at level 6 the Cosmic Omen. So consult your star map for omens, giving you access to 1 of 2 spells based on whether you divined a good or bad omen. So it's a random choice, which I'll show you here in a second. Really cool option, though. So with this, we got our wild shape, which we're not going to use, but the starry form. Now, 3 different distinct versions. We have the starry form Archer, which when you make a ranged spell attack, hurling a luminous arrow that deals 1d8 of radiant damage. And then we also get the Chalice here, so whenever you use a spell slot to cast a spell that restores hit points, you may cause yourself or another creature within 9 meters to cast a spell to regain hit points equal to 1d8 plus Wisdom modifier. And then the Starry Form Dragon. When you make an Intelligence or Wisdom check, you treat a roll of a 9 as a roll of a 10, and you also have advantage on Constitution saving throws. This is great early game when you won't have the Amulet of Greater Health, because advantage on Constitution saving throws keeps your concentrations longer, so you can have your spike growth up. So with this, when we use it, we actually go into a cool form here. So the Nexus Mods version of this class didn't have this Starry Astral form appearance, which I think really spices the class up. So whenever you do your casting, you can hurl a luminous arrow here. So boom, that's cool. We also got ourselves the Conjure Star Map. So when we use this, we can summon in the ability to use Guiding Bolt. So Guiding Bolt, obviously next attack roll against the target will give advantage, and the Star Map Guiding Bolt uses its own unique charges here. So basically it uses your proficiency bonus, and you can cast this without using any spell slots, which is nice because this is a very powerful spell to set up your teammate with, but you may not want to use spell slots to use it. So that is really nice. So we also have our Cosmic Omen here, once per long rest. We're going to use it and see if we get the good omen or the bad omen. And we got a good one. So grant yourself and a nearby ally with a 1d bonus to ability and skill checks for 1 round. So that uses your Cosmic Omen charges, and it uses a reaction. So pretty cool. I think that this is a very fun subclass. I like this a little bit more than the Oath of Conquest Paladin, which Halves Glimpse has also made. So yeah, this one likely will be coming soon. It was updated recently, so updates do delay it coming to console, unfortunately. But this mod came out before the Oath of Conquest Paladin did, so I think that this will come eventually. Now, it does have some different benefits the further down that we go. So you got your Starry Forms, you got your Cosmic Omen. So there's the wheel here, which gives you your reaction to roll a 1d6 and add the number to your attacks. And then the Omen, so you can use your reaction to roll a d6 and subtract the number from a roll whenever you get... whenever an enemy makes an attack roll against you, so it saves your character. We also have the Twinkling Constellations here at 10th level. Your Constellation, your Starry Form improved. The 1d8 of the Ranger, or the Archer and the Chalice become a 2d8, so more damage or healing. And while the Dragon is active, you have a flying speed of 6 meters and can hover. At the start of each turn with Starring Form, you can change which constellations on your body. So it's nice. If you need a switch to heal, you can switch that over, or you can switch back to doing damage, depending on what you want. Now, at 14th level, when your Starry Form, you become partially incorporeal, granting you resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So, yeah, that is really nice. It doesn't have the same level 20 effect that the Oath of Conquest Paladin does, but hey, this is still a very well fleshed out class. So, I'm a big fan of this one. So next we have the Divine Soul Sorcerer. Now this mod was added September 14th, so it's likely to come soon to console, but again, another mod that's being updated. I love the Sorcerer and I love the Cleric. This happily marries the two classes together, so with the Divine Soul, you get a cantrip from the, basically any choice of a Cleric cantrip here, so if you want Sacred Flame or any of the Mistress spells will also work alongside it. So you get your normal spell slot selection for a sorcerer, but then in addition, every 2 levels you get a choice of the cleric spells, and you can take 2 of them. What's huge about this is because to create water and chain lightning, huge damage. You also get a lot of spells. So at every 2nd levels, you get the choice of your cleric spells. So once you get to level 11, you can choose things like Planar Ally, which are extremely useful cleric spells. So this marries, as I said, marries both these classes together perfectly, being a healer and a spellcaster. I think that this one is quite overpowered because the biggest downside to playing as a sorcerer is you don't have the same spell slot selection that a wizard does. However, the Divine Soul gives you a ton of extra spells, and the Cleric actually has some really good ones. So you can get like Spiritual Weapon, Divine Guardian, you can get your Planar Ally, and you get all the extra cantrips and stuff that a Cleric gets. So bonus action heals, you can get really a wide variety of things. So I'm a big fan of the Divine Soul Sorcerer. It's a really fun class. This one's made by Nox TRX1, and you also get some different benefits. So Divine Magic favored by the gods. So if you fail a saving throw or miss with an attack, you can roll a 2d4 and add it to the total, possibly changing the outcome. So it's once per short rest, but basically if you fail a saving throw, you can basically give a 2d4 to make it so you pass it, which is huge. Empowered Healing at level 6, the Divine Energy coursing through your powers can empower your healing spells. Whenever you cast a healing spell, you can expend 1 sorcery point to maximize the healing done for 1 turn. This is huge because that's max roll of a healing spell. So it makes you a better healer than most clerics will be, which is crazy. And you're also a very powerful spellcaster. So that's pretty strong. And the Otherworldly Wing. So at level 11, your bonus action manifests a pair of spectral wings in your back. When the wings are present, you have a flying speed of 30 feet. These wings last until you're incapacitated. So basically, it's like the fly from the Storm Druid, or the Storm Sorcerer. So you get that ability at level 11, which is huge. But yeah, official console release coming soon, as it says on here. I love this class because I am a big fan of the Sorcerer, and more Sorcerer classes, the better, in my opinion. So this one is really nice. Now, another one I want to focus on is the Hexblade Wizard. So what's nice about the Hexblade Wizard, or Warlock, is the fact that you get the ability to hex without having to cast the spell. So what this looks like in practice is you make a pact with a mysterious entity from the Shadowfell. So you get your normal spells. So Arms of Hadar and Armor of Agathis are the 2 spells that you get from here. But you also get this special hex. So the Hexblade's Curse. So a curse is placed upon your target. If you were Basically, until the attack ends, you deal an additional amount of damage against the cursed target. An attack roll of a 19 or 20 will be a critical hit, and you regain health when you take them out. So this is a bonus action. Unlike the normal Hex, it doesn't require concentration, which is huge because you can have your Hunger Vidar and pop this out and deal damage to the target. So it's nice, too, is you also get to heal yourself with this. It has a bunch of extra effects, too, and it comes with a free bind weapon. So influence your patron to allow you to mysteriously channel your weapon. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch one weapon you're proficient in, and that lacks a two-handed property. When you attack with that weapon, you use Charisma. So you basically Pact of the Blade built into this subclass. And this has a bunch of extra fun effects. So you get different spells, so Shield and Wrathful Smite, Blur and Branding Smite, Blink and Elemental Weapon, Phantasmal Killer and Staggering Smite, and Banishing Smite and Cone of Cold. I love Cone of Cold, so this is huge to see on the Warlock. And it comes with their own subclass abilities. Hex Warrior, so medium armor proficiency, shield and martial weapons once a day. You can bond your weapon. Hexblade's Curse, so as I mentioned there. A Cursed Spectre at level 6 once per long rest. The Hexblade can bind the soul of a cursed target to his surface, raising a Spectre from the corpse. The Spectre will have temporary health equal to half the Warlock level, as well as gaining bonus to their attack rolls equal to the Hexblade's Charisma modifier. And at level 10, you get the Armor of Hexes here. So if the Hexblade is struck by a cursed target, they can spend the reaction to roll a d6. Rolling a d4 or higher will negate the attack. I've made a slight tweak here to make the roll DC 3 instead, and thus the chance to successfully negating is about 50%. So huge blocking damage, always massive. And at level 12, you get the Master of Hexes. The Hexblade's Curse receives an empowerment. When the target of Hexblade's Curse is killed, the Hexblade has the option of transferring their curse to another target within range. This allows you to extend the use and the utility of the curse, although they will not be receiving the bonus from the health at the target's death, and at least not they opt until to give the curse to the other target. So basically, when you take out an enemy, you can just move the curse to someone else and continue to deal extra damage to them. So this is huge because you deal a ton of damage. There's also some special versions of the invocations here. So I really like Eldritch Spear, which doubles the Eldritch Blast range. And then there's ones that reduce the movement speed. Your Eldritch Blast can pull targets towards you. Eldritch Smite, which allows you to expend Warlock spell slots to deal 1d8 force damage per spell level. So if you do a level 4 spell, it's like a 48 of force. Level 5 spells, 5d8, which is one of the best damage types. This is huge, and it can knock the target prone, so you need Pact of the Blade for that one. Huge. And basically, Pact of the Blade can also become stronger, giving you an extra +1 to your attack and damage rolls. So there's a lot of really cool invocations that come with this mod. This is made by Lockstock Rocket. I'm not sure when this will come. It got released on console or on PC September 20th. It was last updated 9 days ago, so potentially it'll be coming soon. This mod creator has made a bunch of other cool mods, so yeah, Lockstock Rocket, incredible Hexblade Warlock mod. I think this one's a lot of fun. Next, we'll get into the Rogue subclasses with the Marauder. Now, what's cool about the Marauder is it's more so focused on being like a dual wielder and more of a martial class than the regular Rogue is. So the Rogue is notorious for not being that great in combat. This is fixed with the Marauder. So unfortunately, some of these mods do override. So you can see here the Marauder just appeared, but I'll make the Swashbuckler appear in a moment. It's kind of funny. So the Master of Dual Wielding Combat, striking swiftly and relentlessly overwhelm their foes. Master of Ambidextrosity. So you get dexterous attacks. So any weapon that's done have the two-handed property or heavy will add your dexterity modifier instead of your strength. And also a dual wield a weapon even if it's not light. And then we also no longer need advantage to execute a sneak attack with a melee weapon. In addition, this class also gets a few extra benefits. So Marauder's Brutality, Relentless Assault, and Brutal Efficiency here. So I'll show you what that looks like. Your speed and agility allow you to make one additional melee attack with your offhand. When you take the attack action, this extra attack can only be made with a weapon that lacks two-hand or heavy properties. And then Brutal Efficiency. When you roll a 1 or 2 in a damage die for an attack with a melee weapon, the dice is rerolled once. So flat out increase your overall damage, which is really nice. And then at level 5, you get extra attack and riposte, which allows you to have a reaction attack, which is huge. Heightened reflexes, unstoppable force, and improved relentless assault. So lots of fun benefits to this class, and this has medium armor proficiency and martial weapon training. It's very strong. This is made by Crypto Hack here, so yeah, you gain extra reaction at level 7, and Swift Strike, you make an attack with your main hand weapon as a bonus action. Unstoppable Force, once per turn, if you kill an enemy and gain another action point, it can move half your movement speed. Acts of Opportunity are not triggered. So yeah, it's very strong. You move around dealing a ton of damage. I think this one is a lot of fun, and it'll also automatically trigger your sneak attack. So I really like the Marauder. I think this class is very well done. So next we have the Swashbuckler Rogue, which is another really cool subclass. Now, watch, magic. We made the Swashbuckler appear again. So sometimes if your classes don't appear, you have to multi-class into them or not have any multi-classes. So you can see we only had 4 options there, but now we have the Pirate and the Swashbuckler here. What's cool about this is it has the Rakish Audacity, which is a version of sneak attack dealing extra damage. And you gain an additional way to use your sneak attack. You can now perform sneak attacks so there's no other enemies within 5 feet of the target if the enemy is isolated. And basically, this replaces your normal sneak attack, so you can remove the normal one from your ability bar. Your confidence propels you into battle. You can give yourself a bonus to initiative equal to your charisma modifier. Very cool. This is a charisma-based class as well as a dexterity-based one, so great for the face of a party. And after making a melee attack, you don't provoke opportunity attacks. So good for getting around the battlefield really well, and the Swashbuckler is really fun to play. It does use like charisma for its attack rolls, which is cool. Or it does use charisma for a lot of different abilities. At level 5, you get the uncanny dodge, so you only take half normal damage. And at level 6, you get your skill proficiencies. Now, there are mods that will give you extra benefits as you level up, so you can get like an extra attack at level 8 here. So this is not part of the normal class, but I think this just works well because the rogue typically is not much of a melee attacker, but adding that to it is really nice. Now the pirate subclass has a bit of spell casting to it as well. I'm not sure when that'll come to console, but it seems like the Marauder will be more likely to come, or the Swashbuckler, and this is made by the Tatums. Now the Swashbuckler was highly requested, and a lot of people are commenting that they want to play as this because they play as it in D&D, so hopefully this will come soon. Hasn't been updated in 28 days, so that's a huge sign that it'll potentially come. And it got released September 18th, which we're already seeing, like Mr. Spell mod got released in October, and we're already using that in console, so potential to come. Now, the Bard has a lot of subclasses too, starting with the College of Dance here. So this one kind of combines the Monk's abilities with the Bard abilities. So you get your Bardic unarmed attack, and what this looks like is the College of Dance here. So, a lot of benefits. Unarmed attacks become Bardic unarmed attacks and deal 1d6 of bludgeoning damage. This increases alongside your Bardic Inspiration die. And then you also have Dexterous attacks, so unarmed attack skill with Dexterity instead of Strength for if your Dexterity is higher. Agile strikes, so you can expend the use of your Bardic Inspiration in combat to gain the ability to perform one free Bardic unarmed attack until the end of your turn. And then defensive footwork, so while not wearing armor, your base armor class is 10 plus Dexterity and Charisma modifiers. Cool effect there. And Dance Virtuoso, you have advantage of performance check and the ability to perform dance. So you can just dance. Kind of funny. And there's the perform dance. So yeah, you get deception, persuasion. You can choose, I guess, extra skill proficiencies. I always recommend persuasion there, but this is a fun one. What this also has is the ability to add a little bit extra damage with your Bardic Inspiration. Your movement speed will also increase by 4.5 meters using a Bardic Inspiration as a reaction. Dance Virtuoso, Dance of Death, Dexterous attacks, unarmed damage, defensive. So basically all those effects that I showed off there. And you also, when a spell or effect would deal half damage to a successful Dexterity saving throw, you deal half damage instead. So same as the Monk and the Rogue get that benefit to reduce the damage on saving throws from spells, the Monk also gets that as well. So really cool effects. Level 6, your dance dies increase to 1d8. So there's the effect to add extra movement speed. You can add that to a teammate. Tandem footwork, so using your Bardic Inspiration, you increase the initiative by 2. And at level 10, your dance attacks become 1d10 and improve tandem footwork. And then level 12, leading evasion, so your grace and agility lets you dodge the way of certain spells. What a spell or effect would deal half damage to successful Dexterity saving throw, deal none, and only half if you fail. And you automatically share this benefit with any ally within 3 meters. So that's huge. If you get your whole team near you, you'll basically help them with dodging attacks, which is actually pretty massive. So the College of Dance is very strong. And also we got the College of Spirits, which I want to focus on here. So this is another cool one. So you get the ability to do the Tales from Beyond, which call on spirits to tell a tale through you. And you also get the Guidance Whispers, which is basically guidance as a cantrip. Basically, bonus action, you can buff allies, get new actions as you level, and you can do, at 6th level, you got the spiritual focus healing, do an extra 1d6 of healing with healing spells, or do extra damage with damage spells. Learn a divination or necromancy spell from any class until long rest. More options you level up. Level 14, once per short rest, you get to specific Tales of Beyond to learn, not random. So you can pick and choose what you want. They are kind of random, which is pretty interesting. And no reroll for Mystic Connection. Changes from 5th edition. So the Tales of the Beyond can be anything. It can give your characters more temporary health. It can give them like advantage on their rolls. It can give them different benefits, like adding more dice to their damage and attack rolls. There's a wide variety of them. It's kind of random, which is fun. Some people may not like that, but it's a cool class nonetheless. Now the Glamour Bard, this is another class that's pretty interesting here. So what this looks like in terms of gameplay here is you got the Silver Tongue. When you make a Deception or Persuasion ability check, the lowest you can roll is a 10. And Unsettling Words gives a 1d6 penalty to the next saving throw until the end of the next round. So you can use this as a bonus action to apply this to the target. And this will help with like landing spells against the target. So it can be pretty fun. This is not as strong. None of these Bard subclasses are as strong as a Sword Bard. I just want to make that clear. The Sword Bard is very strong. These are not as strong. But basically you give temporary health and dash to allies within an area of effect. And once per short rest, charm a number of targets equal to your proficiency bonus as an action. So you can charm up to 4 targets. Once per long rest, cast Command as a bonus action for 10 turns. You can recast as a bonus action for free. Command is a very powerful spell, especially as a bonus action. Very, very strong. And at 14th level, Unbreakable Majesty. Once per short rest, gain a majestic presence that charms enemies that attack you. If the enemy succeeds, they have disadvantage on saving throws against your spells until next turn. Cast as a bonus action. Last 10 turns. So this is a pretty interesting one. Not super strong, but you get the ability to charm targets. You can use the bonus action command. It's quite interesting in how it works. So I think it's a fun one. But now getting into a class that I know a lot of people want to see is the Blade Singer Wizard. This is also made by Grookey. Grookey has made a ton of really great mods. So they made the Twilight Cleric. They made the Blade Singer. They've made a bunch of other changes to the classes that work really well. So what I like about the Blade Singer is this gives you the ability to do an extra attack. So what this looks like here, so you get 2 spells as per usual, and you get the Blade Song. So gain a bonus to armor class and constitution saving throws equal to your intelligence modifier for 10 turns using a Blade Song charge. You also, it's a wizard, so you know they get good spell selection and they can learn them from scrolls. The wizard's an underrated class, but being able to attack as a wizard too is pretty cool. So you can combine a bunch of different pieces of gear to really power this class up. Green Flame Blade and Booming Blade work fantastic for cantrips here. And as we level up, we get a bunch of different effects. We'll see at level 5 here. And level 6, you do get some nice benefits. So I guess level 3 spells here. This is a very good class at Misty Step on. And at level 6, we get our extra attack here. So yeah, it becomes strong because you can attack twice. And then we also got the spell Combat, so it can replace one attack with a cantrip when using extra attack, which lets us do like a Booming Blade and a Green Flame Blade as an attack, which is super cool. Not a lot of classes have that variability to them, so I think this is a really great class. Grookey did an awesome job with it. And also at level 10, you get the Song of Defense. When they take damage, Blade Singers may expend a reaction and a spell slot to reduce the damage taken by 5 times the spell slot level. Huge. It makes you very tanky. And then also level 14. When Blade Song is active, Blade Singers add their intelligence modifier to weapon attacks. So +5 or +6 to your weapon attacks makes it so you don't miss often. And yeah, this is a very cool class. I think this one is fun. There's also a mod that'll give homebrew changes to the class. I love Grookey did a great job with this and their Twilight Domain Cleric. But I guess next up is the Death Domain Cleric, which I know a lot of people have been asking for this class as well. What's cool about this is you get Bone Chill that you can target 2 people with. And then you also get like the Necromancy spells for your domain spells. And then you learn Bone Chill, and you can cast Bone Chill at 2 targets within 2 meters of each other. Some of the extra benefits to this class, you get the Touch of Death here, which destroys the target's life force with a mere touch, dealing an additional 29 necrotic damage. So that's really strong weapon action. And yeah, you also get the Divine Strike Necrotic. So at level 8, the normal cleric gets the ability to add extra damage type, usually Radiant, Thunder damage, and this adds necrotic damage. So yeah, this gets a lot of cool spells. So you get Blindness, Ray of Enfeeblement, Animate Dead, touch of vampirism, the healing spell, and then there's blight, death ward, contagion, and cloud kill. So what's good about this class is it actually makes for a pretty powerful necromancer as well. Not to the effects of the dread overlord warlock, but it's still pretty strong. And yeah, I know a lot of people want to see this one. This is made by Executive Elf here. So yeah, Death Domain Cleric, pretty cool. There's also some other ones like the Forge Domain, Order Domain. I know people wanted to see these, but I'm not too sure on when they'll be added. But the Twilight Domain, this is the last one that I wanted to focus on. So Twilight Domain, I just did a build on this one yesterday. So yeah, this is a very fun class. What's nice about this is you get a bunch of extra benefits, as you can see here. We'll go through them. So you can get the Vigilant Blessing. You can give a target a +3 bonus to their initiative and bestow Eyes of the Night. So this allows you to see in the dark up to 60 meters. So you can give this to your team up to 3 meters away from you. And you yourself also get dark vision up to 60 meters, which is really far. And then for our domain spells, level 1, you get Fairy Fire and Sleep. And in addition to this, you get a bunch of other effects. So we also get the Channel Divinity Twilight Sanctuary. So can use your Channel Divinity to basically make it so that you get yourself... this prevents targets from being charmed or frightened, and if they're not charmed, they gain 6 temporary health. This scales all the way up. It uses your cleric level plus your proficiency bonus. So at level 12, it's like 16 health, which is really nice. So yeah, it says 4+, I guess, yeah, 4+ cleric's level, which is basically proficiency bonus. Level 6, you get the Step in the Night. So when obscured, Twilight clerics can grant themselves the ability to fly for 10 turns. They can use this 3 times per long rest. At level 9, they can use it 4 times. So when you're obscured, you can start flying, which is really cool. Level 8, you get +1d8 radiant damage. And there's a rework of this, which will give the damage reduction instead of the temporary health. So this is a very fun class. I just did a build on this yesterday, so you can check that out on my channel. This is made by Grookey, and yeah, it's a cool subclass. I feel like this should have been in the base game. Shadowheart would have made for a great one. Great Twilight Cleric. I think it's a cool one. So just want to highlight some of these subclasses that are potentially coming soon to console. Again, they could have some issues or bugs that prevent them, but Larian has been really good that if there's any issues with the mods, they do give the mod creator heads up on why it didn't pass and what they can do to help make it pass. But I didn't see any red flags in any of these that would prevent them from coming to console, so that's why I wanted to touch on this, because I was asked to do top subclasses that will make their way to console. So just want to give some ideas for console players. Again, as per the last video, these are not 100% confirmed to come to console. I did get a lot of hate on the last video. I didn't mean to cause anyone any didn't want to upset anyone, but people have been asking for my thoughts on what mods will come to console, and I've been having my ear to the ground, looking around and finding these for people. So it's likely these will come within a month or so, but no time frame established. And again, if the mod gets any updates, it does set it back in how long it's going to take to come to console. So hopefully this is soon. It's funny because I literally recorded a video on this like a couple days ago, and the Paladin Oath of Conquest made their way to console, so I had to scrap that video because that was the first one that I put on the video. I've been right on a lot of mods that have made their way to console already, with the Blood Sorcery, Dread Overlord Warlock, the Mind Weaver, some of the face mods, some of the spell mods even. So I think that these will come in time. It's hard to say when, but hopefully by the time you see this video that maybe they'll be released to console, but we'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much for watching, though. Hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I appreciate all the support, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.